In this video, we're going to be looking at tense consistency. Consistency means behaving in the same way. Verb tenses are really important because they tell us when something happened and whether they happened in the past, in the present, or in the future. Tenses can be formed in different ways. For example, I danced, which is the past, I dance, which is the present, or I will dance, which is the future. When we talk about tense consistency, it means that the tense needs to be kept the same within a clause. It's important to do this in order to make your writing flow and to avoid any confusion. Look at the difference in these sentences. The first sentence is written in the past. Once upon a time, there was a dragon called Freddy who lived in a cave. He enjoyed flying across the sky. The next sentence is written in the present. Freddy is a dragon who lives in a cave. He enjoys flying across the sky. Sometimes there may be clues in a sentence about which tense to use. Adverbial phrases such as last year or previously suggest that a sentence should be in the past tense. For example, last year I travelled to Morocco. Adverbial phrases such as next week or at a later date suggest that a sentence should be in the future. Next week, Tilly will start violin lessons. If a sentence is written in the wrong tense, it doesn't make sense and it can be really confusing. Sometimes it can help to read the sentence aloud to listen out to see which verb form doesn't quite sound right. For example, normally Ashton goes to the leisure centre on Tuesdays and played tennis. Normally and on Tuesdays are adverbial phrases that suggest an action is done regularly and that the present tense should be used. Goes is a present tense verb, however, played is the past tense, therefore the tenses are not consistent. The sentence should be, normally Ashton goes to the leisure centre on Tuesdays and plays tennis. Now the tenses have been made consistent. Hoo-yah! Now let's have a look at the first question. You are going to circle the verb form that does not make the tenses consistent. The skydivers wore goggles as they jump out of the plane. They were laughing loudly. Let's pick out the verb tenses. In this sentence, they are wore, jump, and were laughing. Two of these verb tenses refer to the past, wore and were laughing. Wore is the simple past, while were laughing is the past progressive. However, jump is a simple present tense verb. Therefore, we should circle jump as it is not consistent with the other two verb forms. For an extra challenge, did you work out what jump could be changed to in order for it to be consistent? There were two options in the past tense that you could have chosen. You could have used the simple past and put jumped, or you could have used the past progressive and used were jumping. If you want to find out any more about those tenses mentioned in further detail, you can find more videos about that on our website. In this next question, you are being asked to tick the sentence which uses tenses consistently. The lady is putting on her life jacket and had got into the canoe. Once the lady put on her life jacket, she got into the canoe. The lady had put on her life jacket and is getting into the canoe. Or, once the lady puts on her life jacket, she was going in the canoe. Pause the video and press play when you have an answer. How did you get on? Did it help you to read the sentence out loud? The sentences were all similar because they all referred to the same event, but 3 of the sentences contained tenses that were not consistent. The correct answer was sentence number 2. Once the lady put on her life jacket, she got into the canoe. In this sentence, the simple past tense has been used for put and got. In each of the other options, a mixture of the past and present tense has been used, which makes the tenses inconsistent. It is important to note that there are a few exceptions of verbs that don't change depending on the tense, such as set, shut, quit, split, cost, and hurt. When these verbs are used, you will have to look for other clues within the sentence. For example, I'm going to shut the door now. Now tells us that this sentence is in the present. Did you shut the gate last night? Last night tells us that this sentence is in the past. Hoo-yah! For our final question, you are being asked to rewrite the verbs in the sentences to make the tense consistent. Next month, Rocco in a basketball match. The match in the school hall. You may wish to write your answer down on a whiteboard or a piece of paper, or you may just wish to say your answer out loud. Pause your video now and hit play when you are ready. Do you have an answer? Great. Did you find any clues in the sentence to help you to decide which tense to use? Well done if you spotted the adverbial phrase next month. This suggests that the sentence should be in the future. Now we need to change the verb to play into the future tense. When we are forming the future tense, we use will plus the verb. So will play is the first answer. Let's look at the second verb. We need to change to be to the future tense. Well done if you worked out that that is will be. Next month, Rocco will play in a basketball match. The match will be in the school hall. Both tenses are now consistent. Very well done. Hoo-yah! Very well done if you got any of those questions right. If you're looking for any more English videos just like this one, make sure you head to the Twinkl website to check them out. See you next time.
In this video, we will be looking at subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement is when the subject of a sentence needs to match the verb form. For example, a singular subject, one person or thing, needs to have a singular form of the verb. Look at the singular forms of the verb to cook. I cook, you cook, he cooks, she cooks, it cooks. A plural subject means that there's more than one person or thing. Therefore, it would need to have a plural form of the verb. We cook, you cook, they cook. In the present tense, most subjects, apart from the third person singular, use the standard form of the verb. In most cases, you need to add an s or es to the third person singular form, he, she, it, of the present tense verb. For example, he catches, she laughs, it runs. To help you make the subject and verb agree, try saying the sentence aloud or to a partner. Which sentence sounds right? The seal eats fish. The seal eats fish. An s should be added to the verb as the subject is the third person singular. So the correct answer is the seal eats fish. Of course, there are some exceptions to this rule, and one is the verb to be. In the present tense, am, are, or is will be used depending on the subject, and in the past tense, was or were will be used. Some other verbs such as set, shut, quit, spilt, cost, and hurt do not change depending on the subject. Some words such as each and everyone use the singular verb form despite how they can refer to something plural. Everyone was happy. Now, let's have a look at the first question. Choose a word to complete the sentence to make the subject and verb agree. The people jumping over the hurdles. Is it am, is, was, or are? If it helps, read the sentence with the different options aloud and see which verb form doesn't sound quite right. People is a plural subject, so we need to select a plural verb form. Am, is, and was are all singular verb forms. Therefore, the correct verb form is are. The people are jumping over the hurdles. In this next question, you're being asked to tick the sentence where the subject and verb agree. Jatan have painted a picture. Jatan paint a picture. Jatan paints a picture. Jatan were painting a picture. Pause the video and press play when you have an answer. How did you get on? The sentences were all very similar, but 3 of the verb forms did not agree with the subject. The correct answer was sentence number 3. Jatan paints a picture. The subject, Jatan, is third person singular. An s has been added to the present verb from paint to make it agree. For our final question, you're being asked to rewrite the verbs in the sentences to make the subject and the verb agree. The elves is making toys. Holly build a train and Nico make a doll. You may wish to write your answer down on a whiteboard or a piece of paper, or you may just wish to say your answer out loud. Pause your video now and hit play when you are ready. Do you have an answer? Great. First, let's take a look at the subject, elves. This is plural, so we need to also make the verb form plural. Therefore, is becomes are. The elves are making toys. Holly and Nico are both singular subjects, and they need to each have a singular verb form. With both of these verbs, we can add s to make them agree to become builds and makes. Holly builds a train and Nico makes a doll. Excellent work. Thanks for listening.
Hoo-yah!
Hi there! In this video, we will be looking at creating grammatically correct sentences. When creating grammatically correct sentences, we need to think about a few things in order to make sure that our sentences make sense. Firstly, we need to make sure that our tenses are consistent. Consistent means always behaving in the same way. To do this, we should match the tense of our verbs within a clause. For example, the cauldron bubbled and the mixture spilt over the edge. In this sentence, both verbs are written in the past tense. Now, how would it sound if the tenses were inconsistent? The cauldron bubbled and the mixture spills over the edge. Bubbled is written in past tense and spills is written in present tense. You can see that it is very confusing and the tenses don't match. Sometimes adverbial phrases can give us clues about what tense a sentence should be in. For example, next month suggests that we should use the future tense, whereas last Monday suggests the past tense. Another thing that we need to think about is subject and verb agreement. This is when the subject of a sentence needs to match the verb form. For example, a singular subject, one person or thing, needs to have a singular form of the verb. For example, I smile at my cousin. The frog jumps over a rock. A plural subject needs to have a plural form of the verb, such as, the people were waving to their new neighbour. The birds are crossing the road. If you want to find out more about tense consistency or subject and verb agreement, we have videos on the Twinkl website, so make sure to check them out. Now let's have a look at the first question. Which sentence is grammatically correct? Tomorrow I had decided to play the lottery. Yesterday I bought a lottery ticket. I is feeling very excited. Next week I won the lottery. The adverbial phrases are helpful in this question. Tomorrow and next week both suggest that the future tense should be used. The first sentence uses the past perfect and the fourth sentence used the simple past tense, so both of these are incorrect. In the third sentence, the subject and verb form do not match. Instead of I is feeling very excited, it should be I am feeling very excited. So the correct answer was, yesterday I bought a lottery ticket. A top tip would be to try and say them out loud to see which answer sounds right. This can often be helpful.
Hoo-yah!
In this next question, you're being asked to circle the correct verb form to make the sentences grammatically correct. Sean was, were, walking through Swansea Market. He stopped, stops, to buy some apples. They cost 36p each. Pause the video and press play when you have an answer. How did you get on? In this question, we need to think about tenses and subject and verb agreement. In the first sentence, we need to choose the singular verb form, as Sean is a singular subject. The answer is was. The word was told us that the paragraph was in the past tense, so we need to use stopped in the second sentence. Finally, because apples are a plural subject, we need to match it to the plural verb form, and the answer is cost. Well done if you got those right.
Hoo-yah!
For our last question, you're being asked to rewrite the verbs in the sentences to make them grammatically correct. Last week, Sophia, swimming. She, the butterfly stroke for the first time. You may wish to write your answer down on a whiteboard or on a piece of paper, or you may just wish to say your answer out loud. Pause your video now and hit play when you're ready. Do you have an answer? Great. Did you spot the adverbial phrase last week? This gives us a clue that the sentence should be in the past. To go in the past tense is went. To keep the tenses consistent, we want to put the following verb in the past too. So, to learn becomes learnt. Excellent work.
Hoo-yah!
I hope this video has helped you to understand how to create grammatically correct sentences. If you still need more SPaG help, we have lots of these videos on the Twinkl website, so make sure to check them out. Thank you for watching. Hi there. In this video, we will be looking at which verb form completes the sentence. When we look at which verb form completes a sentence, we need to focus on subject and verb agreement. This is when the subject needs to match the verb form, whether it is singular, one thing or object, or plural, more than one thing or object. For example, the child is making a sandcastle, and the children are making a sandcastle. We need to also think about tense consistency. Consistency means always behaving in the same way. Timmy moved quickly on his skateboard and jumped off the skate ramp. The tenses here are both in past tense to keep them consistent. In order to know which verb form to use, you need to be able to recognise different tenses. Here are some examples. The simple past tense is used to describe actions which have already happened and are now complete. Omari played the cello. The simple present tense is used to show that an action is happening right now, or that an action is happening regularly. Omari plays the cello. The present perfect tense is used to describe actions that happened in the past but continue in the present. It is used to show a link between present and the past. Omari has played the cello. The past perfect tense describes actions that were completed before a point in the past. Omari had played the cello. If you want to find out more about how to form any of these verbs, or others such as progressive tense, we have lots of videos on the Twinkl website telling you exactly how. Now let's have a look at the first question. Which verb form completes the sentence? After the pantomime, the actors took a bow. The options are is finishing, have finished, had finished, or was finishing. The adverbial phrase after is helpful in this question because it shows the pantomime has already ended, so it cannot be is finishing or was finishing, as these are continuous actions. The verb took shows that the action is in the past. It cannot be have finished because it is the present perfect tense. So the correct answer is had finished. Well done if you spotted that.
Hoo-yah!
A top tip to solve this would be to try say them out loud to see which answer sounds right. This can often be helpful. In this next question, you're being asked to circle the correct verb form in each underlined pair to complete the sentences below. The alien was, were, flying to planet Zip in a rocket. When she landed, she jumps, out to explore. Pause the video and press play when you have an answer. How did you get on? In the first sentence, alien is a singular subject. Therefore, we need to match it with a singular verb form. So the answer is was. The word was told us that the paragraph was in the past tense, so we need to use landed in the second sentence. Finally, because landed is in the past tense, we need to make the following verb consistent and select jumped.
Hoo-yah!
Well done if you got that one right. For our final question, you're being asked to rewrite the verbs in the sentences below into the correct verb form. Every Sunday, Dan, a roast dinner. His favourite side dish, crispy roast potatoes. You may wish to write your answer down on a whiteboard or a piece of paper, or you may just wish to say your answer out loud. Pause your video now and hit play when you're ready. Do you have an answer? Excellent. Did you spot the adverbial phrase every Sunday? This gives us a clue that the sentence should be in the present tense because it is an action that happens regularly. Dan is a third person singular subject and to cook in the present tense is cooks. To keep the tenses consistent, we want to put the following verb in the present too. So, to be becomes is. Even though the sentence mentions potatoes, the verb is agreeing with the subject, which is side dish, and this is the third person singular. The verb forms are now consistent. Great work!
Hoo-yah!
I hope this has helped you to understand how to choose the correct verb form to finish a sentence. If you're looking for even more videos, then we have lots more of these on the Twinkl website, so make sure to check them out. Thank you for watching.